What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Jackson Browne. Yes, indeed, how about that? Jackson Browne making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-boobidi-bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from JFK, and this is actually one of JFK's 3 prioritized requests for the month of October for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So here you go, JFK. Hope you enjoy the show, man. JFK wanted to see me react to this song. It is Jackson Browne with Bruce Springsteen. There's the rub right there. There it is. Jackson Browne with Bruce Springsteen performing a tune called Running on Empty. Now, have I heard the song before? I don't think so. Here's the thing, the title does sound kind of familiar. Like, I'm looking at the words running on empty, and this little light, it's a very small light, but this little light is popping on in the back of my head going, and I'm sitting there going, what about that? What? And unfortunately, it's not like the light's sitting there telling me, you've heard this before. No, it's not doing that, unfortunately. It's just flickering on, and I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. So, have I heard this before? I don't think so. I don't believe I have, but like I said, there's that little light just kind of flickering. So there's a chance maybe I have heard this. Look, either way, if I have heard it, trust me, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This was posted by Bruce.
Call it a hunch. Bruce.
Yeah, we know exactly what that means. And the video has 1.4 million views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. A link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. See, now it's flip-flop. Now it says Bruce Springsteen and Jackson Browne. I thought it was Jackson Browne with Bruce Springsteen. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. If I see the E Street Band, I know it's Bruce Springsteen's show. If I don't see the E Street Band, well, then it's obviously Jackson Browne's show. We'll figure it out. Bruce Springsteen and Jackson Browne, Running on Empty. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Would you all welcome to the stage my good friend, Bruce Springsteen.
Okay, it's Jackson Browne's show. Oh, quit your booing. No, I know it's not booing. They're all saying Bruce. I know. It sounds like they're booing, though. Hang on a second. We're experiencing technical difficulties. Okay. I don't know if this is a Bruce Springsteen song or if this is a Jackson Browne song. I don't know. The light's gone off. I don't recognize this at all. It's just something about the name Running on Empty though that does kind of trigger something in my mind. But as far as the song goes, I don't recognize anything. So, between the two vocalists, I gotta say, I think I like Bruce's vocals better on this song. I'm not trying to take anything away from this guy. I'm not. When he sang the first verse, it sounded fine. There was nothing wrong with anything he did. He sounded really good doing it. Something about the tone of Bruce's voice really lends itself to this song. So that kind of makes me wonder if this is a Bruce Springsteen song. If it's not, and it's a Jackson Browne song, well, good on Bruce. Good on him for making that work. More than likely, it's a Jackson Browne song. More than likely. No, then again, maybe they're doing a cover, and it's Bruce's song. It's very possible. It sounds good. It feels good. Got that upbeat feel to it, but with a laid back feel in the drumming on that snare. It's not too laid back though. Not like jazz. It's not like, or blues. It's not that far back, but it does have a little bit of a relaxed feel happening in the snare. Just ever so slightly sitting back. Just ever so slightly. It feels good. It's not sitting back so much that there's no drive. The drive is still there. The push is still there. The energy is still there. I'm digging the tune. It's a fun tune. It sounds like a fun tune. So let's keep going. Let's see where this goes. I'm really curious to see how they're going to end this. I'm really curious about that. It's had a nice, easy feel, but with the energy and the drive and the push. So is this going to be one of those songs where they hit the last chord, sustain, 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 and then they just kind of let it fade and taper? Or are they going to have like that big rock and roll ending? I don't know. Either way would work, I suppose. But I'm really kind of curious to see how they're going to end it. The band as a whole sounds really good. The backing vocalists, whoever doing the backing vocals and doing the harmonies, really nice job. The drumming sounds solid. Like I said, the snare just has that little bit of a just ever so slight laid back feel to it. And I like it. I think it really kind of lends itself well to the style of song. I don't know who was doing the guitar solo though. They had the spotlight on this guy, but he wasn't soloing. He was just playing chords, and so was Bruce. Bruce was also playing chords, so I don't know who was doing the guitar solo. kind of a shame that we didn't see it. You know, whoever's operating this phone, let's be honest, this is a cell phone video. Whoever's operating this phone camera decided to keep it focused on these two guys playing the chords rather than panning over to whoever is doing the guitar solo. You know, I feel like we were done a slight injustice there. But whoever was doing the guitar solo, it sounded really good. Got no problem with it. Honestly, I don't have any complaints about this. This sounds really good. Am I blown away by it? No, I'm not blown away by it, but it sounds really good. It feels really good. So anyway, let's finish this out. It gets blocked. Look, every single video I've ever done from Bruce Springsteen or that involves Bruce Springsteen has been blocked. Every single one. And the funny thing is, I'll contest it, you know, and every single time that the block is either released outright or the contestation expires. Every time. Every single time. So I do not understand why Bruce Springsteen's publishing company even bothers blocking in the first place. They don't follow through. They block and then it's like, yeah, we're gonna set it to block and whatever happens, happens. They don't care. I just find it funny. I find it very, very funny that every single video I've ever uploaded for a Bruce Springsteen reaction has been blocked, and then I contest it and I win. And they either release or it just expires and I win by default. So I don't know. I can't explain that, but whatever. Hey, I'm not complaining. It all works out in my favor. So. No, that can't be the end of the show. That can't be the end of the show. That was probably the last song, and then, you know, they'll come back out and do a couple more for an encore. But I can't believe that was the last song. Nobody took any bows or anything like that. So I very seriously doubt that's the end of the show. Anyway, honestly, there's not a lot to talk about, but there's a couple of things I want to discuss. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Jackson Browne with Bruce Springsteen, not the other way around. This was Jackson Browne's show. They just had Bruce come out. So yeah, Jackson Browne with Bruce Springsteen performing a song called Running on Empty. And this was a request from JFK, and this was actually one of JFK's 3 prioritized requests for the month of October for being a gold tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, JFK. Hope you enjoyed the show, man. I thought about it, and believe it or not, it took me a little longer than I thought it was going to take me to come up with this score. There were a couple of curveballs I had to think about, and I hadn't thought about originally until, you know, I was about to start my review, and all of a sudden my mind went, hey, wait a minute, you're forgetting about this, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did forget about that. And then I had to, you know, rethink everything. So, but I got everything now, and I got my score, and here we go. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.9. Yep, 7.9. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, it's a really good song. It is. I would never go as far as say impressive or amazing or mind-blowing. And I wouldn't even say great, if I'm being honest here. I don't even think this would qualify for being great. But really good? Yeah, definitely, all day long. The song on its own, just the song, I would honestly give the song about a 7.5, 7.6, somewhere in there. So how did we get to the 7.9? I'm going to tell you about that in just a second. Let's talk about the song. Now, sound quality notwithstanding, let's be honest, this was recorded on a cell phone Lord knows how many years ago, so you know you're never going to get the best sound quality from a cell phone video. But taking that into account, obviously, notwithstanding the quality of the audio, it wasn't the best quality. It was pretty thin, pretty tinny, but I could still hear for the most part everything I needed to hear. Drums were solid. Drums were absolutely solid. I loved what the drummer was doing. In particular, the snare work with that just ever so slight, relaxed feel on the snare, but not enough to mess with the drive and the push and the feel of the song as a whole. Just a little laid back on the snare. I like that. I think that was very, very fitting for this style of song. It had the push, it had the direction, it had the drive, it had the energy, but there was just a little tiny bit of a relaxed feel with it. Great job by the drummer. The bass playing, I in all honesty, I really couldn't hear it all that well in the mix, but that's a good thing because I didn't hear anything stick out either. So it didn't sound like he did anything wrong. It didn't sound like anything stuck out like a sore thumb. I really wish I could have heard him better in the mix, but I didn't hear anything bad, so I can only assume that he did everything right. So good on him. The guitar playing. I don't know how many guitar players there were on that stage. Were there 4? I mean, you had Bruce and the lead vocalist, and then you had 2 other guitarists, I guess? One on stage right, one on stage left, I guess? I don't know. We only saw a brief glimpse of the one over on stage left. We saw an ever so slight glimpse of him towards the end of the song, so I know he was there. I don't know if there's another one over on stage right or not. I think there was, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, why I think there was, but then again, I could be wrong. Keyboards sounded really good. Auxiliary percussion sounded good. I got no complaint as far as the song goes, or the songwriting, or the musicianship. Everything sounded just fine across the board. Really good job from everybody, in all honesty. The vocals, again, sound quality notwithstanding, it sounded good from everybody involved. In particular, whoever was doing the backing vocals on the harmonies, it didn't matter who was singing. It didn't matter if the lead singer was singing or Bruce was singing. Didn't matter. The backing vocalists were right there, and they made the lead singer sound good by adding extra layers, but without distracting or detracting from the lead vocals. So good on them. Whoever's doing the backing vocals, nice job. Between the two, I gotta say, I liked Bruce's vocals better for this song. Not taking anything away from the lead singer, Jackson Browne, not taking anything away from him whatsoever. I think he did a fine job. It sounded really good. But something about this song really leads itself to Bruce's tone of voice, that raspy tone of voice. And I really dug his vocal style on this song a little bit more than the lead vocalist from Jackson Browne. Again, not taking anything away from him, okay? Just personal preference. I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to disagree with me and they're going to say they prefer the lead singer from Jackson Browne's vocals. Okay, that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, right? Yeah, having Bruce as a guest artist on this song, I think that was a great call. So overall, the song was really nice. The overall performance was really well done. And like I said, I would give the song on its own like 7.5, 7.6, somewhere in there. So why a 7.9? The live show. I have said this time and time again. A good live show can help your score or it can hurt your score. This is one of those cases where it definitely helped. We had a lot of stage interaction between the members of the band. We had a lot of crowd interaction with the crowd. Thanks in part to Bruce. Bruce did quite a bit of it. But I saw a couple other members of the band pointing in the crowd, in particular the lead vocalist, pointing into the crowd. I even saw the auxiliary percussionist doing it up there on the back risers. So good on her. She did a nice job with it. Now, I saw some crowd interaction. It was good. The crowd sounds like they know the song, and they were singing along on the chorus. So I don't know if this was a big hit for Jackson Browne or not. I mean, if the crowd's singing along, that's usually a pretty good sign that the song is well known. Stage presence was there, stage energy was there, had a lot of movement and motion around. Again, largely in part thanks to Bruce, but everybody was doing it, not just Bruce. If it had just been Bruce and he was the only one doing it, honestly, it probably would have been a distraction. It would have looked weird. He did a lot of it, but everybody was involved. So I got to give credit to everybody on that. So stage interaction, crowd interaction, stage presence, stage energy, showmanship. Yeah, I guess there was some there. And then production. Nah, there was no production. There was none. But production, honestly, out of the 6 things I look for in a good live show, production's at the very bottom of the barrel, unless you're a production-based band. Like, if you're a band that relies strictly on production to put on your live show, well, then your production better be through the roof. And this was not the case here. These guys don't look like they need production. I think what really impressed me about their live show more than anything, don't get me wrong, they checked off all the boxes. But what really impressed me about the live show was at the end, when everybody was taking solos. The stage communication was outstanding. And what I mean by that is this. Everybody's able and willing to look at each other. And without saying a word, just through hand gestures, pointing, eyes, looking at each other, but without any written instructions or verbal instructions, they were able to figure out who's taking the solo for how many measures and then who was going to be next and pass it on. And then the same thing, everybody's watching each other, everybody's communicating with their eyes, with their facial expressions, with their hands, pointing, gestures, but without saying a word and without anything being written down, they were able to figure out who's soloing, for how long, and who's next. And then for how long and who's next. For how long and who's next. And that it never once felt like anybody tripped over anybody else. Everybody got their time to shine. Everybody did it on their own time and nobody stepped on each other's toes. Not easy to do. It really isn't, especially when you have a guest in the mix. Like, when you're a band, and I suspect Jackson Browne's this type of band, where they've been around with each other for a long time, and they know each other. They know how to look for cues and stuff like that. But when you bring an unknown element like Bruce Springsteen in, who has never played with you guys before, probably, that adds a new element, but they're still able among themselves to communicate with each other and who's going to solo here, who's going to take it next, who's going to take it from him, for how long, how many measures, Now who's next? You know, and they're able to figure that out, like I said, through eyes, gestures, hand motions, hand signals. That's it. No spoken words, no written notes, no diagrams or charts or plans or anything like that. We're gonna fly by the seat of our pants, we're gonna improv, and we're gonna have some fun. And that's what I got from it, and I really enjoyed that. I thought that was actually really well done, and it was done seamlessly. I mean, I didn't hear anybody stepping on anybody's toes. I didn't hear two people soloing at once. So it was very well done and very well executed, especially for being on the fly. So yeah, for the live show, I jacked them up a few points, absolutely, from the 7.5, 7.6 range up to 7.9. And that is where we're gonna stay. I feel good with that score, so that's all there is to it. 7.9, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.